Welcome back to Winding Paths, where we explore unique career journeys of some outstanding women. My name is Annika Reinhardt, and I have been an entrepreneur for many years now, but I would lie if I said that I've never thought about the idea of going back to work for a company full time. But how do you make that transition from being self-employed and following your own goals to realizing somebody else's vision? Today, we'll chat with Briana James, who has taken the leap and has done exactly that. And we'll find out what to look out for when you're transitioning from being a business owner to being a business contributor. Hello and welcome, Briana.
Thank you for having me.
Briana, for more than 5 years, you ran your own very successful in-store marketing company, and now you're back working full-time as an account director at Social Nature, a Vancouver-based health and wellness company. What sparked your desire to join a team instead of continuing working for yourself?
I'd been an entrepreneur for a number of years, and was just finding for myself that I wasn't feeling fulfilled as an entrepreneur. I was missing some of the team interaction, and I felt like that I wasn't getting as far by myself as possibly that I could amongst another team. So it's a bit of a funny back and forth story, but certainly at the heart of it was really just looking for more of a team environment where I could do more of what I love in a more structured way.
Interesting that you mentioned team environment, because I'd love to hear a little bit more about what surprised you about going back into a workplace after, having been solo, either working from home, coffee shops, co-working. What was kind of like, wow, I forgot about that?
A couple of things. So number one is certainly just getting back into the groove of working with other people, working in a team environment where I had to come to an office every day. I had to redo my wardrobe and not wear sweatpants every day too. So it was definitely a transition. Luckily for me, I would say that it was such a good fit that it was fairly simple. It was a good, easy transition. But I would say the biggest thing that shocked me was really just, even though I think of myself as a people person, as, somebody who's fairly social and likes to, make friends, it certainly was a little bit of a challenge to get back into that interpersonal relationship type of atmosphere where I all of a sudden had coworkers, I all of a sudden had colleagues, and they weren't just, other guests at the coffee shop. So I would say that was probably the biggest challenge, but luckily I did join a company that I really fit really well with the values, and really connected quite quickly with the rest of the team.
Actually working with a team of contractors that you hire to basically realize your own dreams as an entrepreneur, very different than working with a team to literally fulfill somebody else's goals and follow somebody else's vision. So how did that go, and what helped you make the shift to really embrace Social Nature's vision and goals compared to going after your own?
I would say that it really came down to, for me, just really making sure that it was a good organizational fit for me. At the time that I went to go make the transition, it kind of happened very organically. So I wasn't necessarily actively looking for additional work. It kind of came as a next step for me naturally, I would say. So the number one thing that I would say helped the transition was that the mission of the company really spoke to me and kind of aligned very well with my personal goals. So in saying that, it was in the naturals industry, which I've been a part of for the last 5 years. And also just what I was looking for in a company is I was looking for a company where I could kind of do what I was already doing, but in a more structured way with a team. So I would say anybody else who's looking for a transition at this time, just to really make sure that it's a good fit, that it feels good. I mean, I hope this doesn't sound funny, but in my sense, it felt like I was kind of called to move on to a new position. I kind of had exhausted what I was already doing. I felt like there wasn't any more growth that I could get myself to. So when this opportunity came up, I did really take inventory of, where do I want to be in my career? What am I doing on my own? And how is this company going to help me elevate my career in another way, if that makes sense?
I love how you explained that, because I think a lot of women who have been self-employed for quite a long time and are potentially thinking about going back full time, this notion of being called, I love that. I love how you explained that. I guess my question then is, what tips do you have for women, again, returning into the workplace, above and beyond ensuring that the mission and the vision is aligned, especially because some women might feel that making that transition could look like they weren't successful in their business?
I would certainly say that did come up for me. That was something that I struggled with for a long time, actually probably about a year before I actually made the decision, before I actually took that leap. I'll be honest, I was unhappy doing my own thing for a number of reasons. I was successful. I had a good client base. I really enjoyed the people that were working with me, but there were certainly some challenges there. So I certainly struggled with it for about a year until I really came to the decision. So, for other people who are in the same position and possibly thinking about moving on to a more structured environment or moving out of your position as your own boss, I would say, honestly, just trust yourself. If you're feeling this way, if you're not happy, I think you know your position more than anyone else can. And so you have to trust that your decision is going to be the right decision. And thankfully, I had a really supportive group around me. It was kind of when it did happen for me, I was kind of in a period of a variety of different changes. I had just moved to a new city. I had a relationship had ended. Then my job kind of changed as well. So it was a really transformational time in my life. But for me, I kind of looked at it as a way of, I was coming out anew and looking for, really aligning more with what I wanted to be doing. So ask your friends and family if you have a supportive group around you, what do they think? That certainly was key for me. I had a really two very trustworthy people that I spoke to constantly for that, which I was very lucky to have. But make sure that you, rather than overthinking it and going, do I have everything in a row? Do I have a job already? What are people going to think of me? Of course, that's something that will likely come up. That did come up for me, but really about trusting where you are. Are you happy? Do you want to do something different? Is what you're doing now going to get you where you want to be? If not, then maybe make baby changes and start seeing what else is out there before, just taking that leap if you're more comfortable with that. Maybe go on a few interviews, check on your resume, see how that's looking, kind of update that and just kind of get the feel for that process before taking that leap if that's too scary of a challenge for you or too scary of a jump. But at the end of the day, trust yourself and just, if it doesn't feel good, then find a new path.
Thank you so much for these insights. Again, I think there are a lot of people, women and men, that are, potentially in a similar position and are wondering, how does it feel to go back? And I really appreciated your insights and your tips for making that transition that might seem a little scary potentially a lot easier, and finding people around you that you trust that can support you is obviously something that is very important. So I'm glad you had that, and I hope that folks listening to the show will look around their networks and really looking to engage with folks that can help mentor or just have some time to listen to the transitions we're making. So again, thank you so much, Briana. Greatly appreciate your insights and being here with us at Winding Paths.
Great. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It was great to be here.